Hi, I'm Henry from Van Wilgen's Garden Center. Welcome to Perennial of the Week number 7. And this week, we're going to focus on ornamental grasses. And our featured plant for this week is fountain grass. This is Panicum Hamlin. And Panicum Hamlin is a great versatile grass for the garden. You can use it in so many different ways with so many different plants. This grass, this is about as tall as it's going to get. It's going to get about 2.5 feet, 3 feet tall at the most with the plumes. It's going to get about 3 feet wide. And you can combine this with other grasses, you can combine this with summer blooming perennials, you can combine this with lots of things in the garden. You can use it in containers if you want to, and with the fall season coming up, you can use this fountain grass to mix in with your mums, your cabbage, your kale, your asters. You can use it for a lot of different things. Now, one of the key things to keep in mind with the grasses is, and all the ones I'm going to show you today, is that ideally you want to have these grasses in full sun. And full sun is generally considered anything that's 6 hours or more of direct sunlight a day. And that's really what's going to help them do their best. If they don't get enough sun, they're going to kind of get open and loose a little bit, and they're not going to do really well for you in the garden. One of the questions we get asked all the time is, is there any perennial grasses that are red? And unfortunately, the answer most of the time is no. However, now there is one that does have some great red highlights to it, and it's native and it's going to hold up great in your garden, and that's Panicum ruby ribbons. Now, Panicum ruby ribbons was discovered at Yukon. It was bred there, and this is going to be a grass that's going to get to be about 4 feet in height approximately, and it's going to have more of a vertical presence in the garden. It'll get a little bit of width to it, but not too terribly wide, but it's going to have these great burgundy highlights in the foliage that are going to stand out really well. And this is going to be another great grass that you could use in containers. This would look wonderful as a drift in the garden with black-eyed Susans in front of it. That wonderful yellow black-eyed Susan playing off the red would look great with this. Going to have a very airy plume, so a little something different. But even the plume is going to pick up some of the red color in it as well. So wonderful, wonderful native grass that I think everybody should have in their garden. One of the most popular grasses we sell here at Van Wilgen's is this wonderful miscanthus called Gracilis. And Gracilis is just a great, easy to grow grass. Going to get some height to it. This is going to get to be about 6 to 8 feet with the plumes. But one of the great features about this grass is that when it's nice and full size, and especially if you're down by the water and you got a nice little breeze blowing, this grass, because it's got fine blades to it, it just kind of sways in the breeze lightly, which gives it just a really nice effect. Now, this also, if you actually can plant this where you get the backlighting of the sun, especially at the end of the day, the silhouette of this at the end of the day with the backlighting of the sun is just absolutely beautiful on it. This is going to have plumes that'll come out late summer, early fall. They're going to have kind of a bronzish, coppery color to them, and it plumes real heavy. And one of the nice things about the plumes on these ornamental grasses is if you want to do a nice fall display with fall cut flowers in the house, cut the plumes on this, and the plumes will make a wonderful addition for a cut flower. Another wonderful grass for the garden is this Miscanthus little zebra. Now, a lot of people are familiar with regular zebra grass, which is going to be a tall grass, and it's going to get to be about 7-8 feet in height. But little zebra is going to stay shorter, but give you that wonderful yellow banding still. This is going to top out around 4 feet in height. Still going to get great, nice, full, bronzy, copper, red plumes to it in the garden. And it's only going to get to be also around 4 feet wide. So if you have a smaller garden, this is something that might hold up well in a smaller garden if you can't accommodate something that's going to be really large. Now, one of the other things about this little zebra and also the other ornamental grasses is that the majority of your grasses are also going to be very drought tolerant. And for some people that might be a big consideration because maybe you don't have a great well, you can't water as much. So the grasses, once they are established, they actually are very drought tolerant and they hold up really well in times when we're not getting a lot of rain. Little zebra is also another one that would look great in a container mixed with mums and asters and other fall flowers. Another great grass that I want to show you that I really love is this Panicum Northwind. And Panicum Northwind is also another native grass, and it's going to be a little taller than the ruby ribbons I showed you earlier. This is going to top out around 5 to 6 feet, but it gets just these wonderful, nice, large plumes to them in the garden. And I like it too because it also gets kind of a bluish green color as well. So it's not going to be a straight green like with the Miscanthus Gracilis I showed you earlier, but this is going to have a bluish tint that's going to stand out really well and mix with a lot of your other summer blooming perennials and your fall perennials as well. As I mentioned, this is going to be a native grass, so it's going to handle our winters around here perfectly fine and come through. I have a couple examples of this here at the garden center that are going on 6 years old now, and they look absolutely fantastic and great. So it's definitely going to hold up in your garden. And one of the advantages to Panicum too is that they will take a little bit more shade than some of your other grasses. So if you wanted to go partial shade with these, they would take it. And they also will take a little bit more moisture as well compared to some of the other grasses. In fact, these are used a lot of times in native plantings along dikes and streams and rivers, things of that nature. So Panicum Northwind, one that you should really consider having for the garden. Another great grass for the garden, this is Miscanthus Rigoletto. And Miscanthus Rigoletto is going to have this wonderful green and white variegation to it. And people are probably familiar with this grass because you've seen Miscanthus variegatus, which is going to be tall, and it's also going to have the white and green combination to it. However, this is going to stay on the shorter side. So again, this is another grass that would be great if you have a small garden or you want to use it in containers as well. But this is going to stay to about the 4-foot mark in the garden. When the plumes come out on this, they're going to have a wonderful coppery red color to them, which again, you can use as a cut flower if you'd like to. And this one here, because of the green and white variegation on it, this would be another grass that if you wanted to use this in a partial shade situation, you could use this for something like that. Hey, one of my favorite plants is this Miscanthus Mysterious Maiden, and there's a couple reasons why I like it. Mysterious Maiden is going to have some height to it. It's going to top out around 5 feet, but it's not going to get terribly wide in the garden. It's going to have a little bit more of a vertical shape to it. But I also kind of feel that it blends the best of two grasses. It's got the thin blades that Miscanthus Gracilis has, where it's going to kind of blow in the breeze and have that nice light texture to it. But also, too, it's got the yellow banding that a zebra grass has in the foliage. So I think it kind of gives you a little extra color, it gives you that extra little gracefulness to the grass. But in my garden, I've had it now for about 4 years, and I just absolutely love it. It grows vigorously, it's filled out really, really well, and it looks great with my perennial asters in the fall here. So hopefully we've shown you a few interesting grasses, and you'll come down here to Van Wilgen's and check them out. I'm Henry for Van Wilgen's Garden Center, and come on down to the Garden Center. Hope to see you.